In her senior yearbook at Bluewood High School, Johanna Balla was pictured with the quote, "A girl that stands out in a crowd, a girl whose character speaks aloud." While she may not have realized it at the time, this quote would prove prophetic, as her life was marked by her desire to serve and care for others. On May 12, 1921, Johanna Balla was born in Austria. When she was only 2 years old, she immigrated to St. Louis, Missouri, with her mother and infant sister to join her father, who was already there. St. Louis remained the family's home in their newly adopted country. When Balla completed high school in 1939, she pursued nursing, graduating from Good Samaritan Hospital of Nursing in Phoenix, Arizona in 1943.
With the U.S. embroiled in World War II, Balla sought to support her country using her nursing skills, enlisting in the U.S. Army Nurse Corps in 1943. In 1945, she was deployed to France and Germany with the 123rd Evacuation Unit, treating, among others, General Patton's Third Army. In an interview late in her life, she recalled a moment when she certainly stood out from the crowd, having told Patton to leave her operating room. While her superiors didn't appreciate her directness, Patton responded with, "Lieutenant, I commend you for the work that you're doing so well."
With the end of World War II, Balla returned to the United States in January 1946 and married Air Force pilot First Lieutenant Earl Baskin that year. She was widowed less than 18 months later when his plane crashed in Europe. Returning to St. Louis, she earned her nursing diploma at Washington University and worked for several years. In 1951, she was recalled to active duty, receiving a nice letter from President Truman, calling her to serve in the Korean War. At the 382nd General Hospital in Japan, Baskin often worked 18-hour shifts as a surgical supervisor. Her hospital was a primary center for airlifted troops from Korea. Later in life, Baskin recalled the poor living conditions in Europe and Korea. Nevertheless, she continued to serve.
Baskin demonstrated her character throughout many tragedies in her life, including the sudden death of her first husband and the many injuries and deaths she saw throughout her wartime service. Decades after she retired, the memory of the many soldiers she treated brought tears to her eyes as she shared her experiences in interviews. Despite the difficulty and heartbreak, she continued serving until her retirement from the Army in 1970. And the decade before she retired, she married Army Lieutenant Colonel Ernest Budd in 1963. And in 1967, Johanna Baskin Butt was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. It was for her life of service to the Army and country that she received numerous medals, including the French Legion of Honor Award and the World War II Victory Medal. She continued serving others after she retired to Arizona with her second husband. There, she cared for her mother until her death and did the same for her husband when he became ill. Her character spoke volumes as she dedicated her life to the service of others in her country at a time when a military career for women was not that common. She may not have known it when she graduated from high school, but Lieutenant Colonel Johanna Baskin Butt was certainly the girl who stood out in the crowd.